Turkey, angry protesters have scuffled with riot police over last week's bombings, which claimed 97 lives. Clashes erupted in the capital Ankara and in Istanbul as police intervened to block demonstrators from marching in honor of those killed in Saturday's twin blasts. Iraqi defense officials say that the Air Force has started bombing Daesh positions based on data provided by a new intelligence center. The Baghdad-based center includes representatives from Russia, Iran, and Syria. The center is tasked with gathering and analyzing intelligence on the ISIL terrorist group. Bloody clashes have escalated in various parts of the occupied territories as Israelis shoot and kill more Palestinians. Israeli troops killed 2 Palestinian men after an alleged gun attack on a bus in Jerusalem Al-Quds. They claim 2 Israelis were killed and several others injured in the attack. Russia calls the shelling of Moscow's embassy in Damascus an act of terror, aimed at intimidating supporters of the fight against the ISIL. Sergei Lavrov made the remarks after the Russian embassy came under attack as hundreds of Syrians gathered outside of the compound to voice support for airstrikes on terrorists. The Russian President Vladimir Putin slams the U.S. for refusing to cooperate with Moscow in Syria. Putin said that Washington has not provided Russia with intelligence about terrorist facilities in the Arab country. He said that Russia, the U.S., and Europe should encourage political dialogue between sides of the Syrian conflict. The United Nations says Yemen only received 1% of its monthly commercial fuel needs in September. The world body says there have been no shipments since the fugitive former President Abdurrahman Mansur Hadi pledged to the UN to allow deliveries a week ago. A new report says terrorist attacks have increased 9 times across the globe since the U.S. declaration of war on terror 14 years ago. The study released by the University of Maryland shows that the number of attacks rose from nearly 1,880 in 2001 to more than 16,800 in 2014. The Dutch Safety Board has released its final report into the cause of Malaysia Airlines MH17 crash over eastern Ukraine. The report says the plane was shot down by a Russian-made missile without specifying who launched the projectile. The head of DSB blamed both warring sides in eastern Ukraine for the disaster.
The flag of the State of Palestine is raised at the UN headquarters in Vienna for the first time. The UN General Assembly recognized Palestine as a non-member observer state in 2012. About 3 weeks ago, it approved a decision to raise the flag at the UN and its representative offices. On the 10th of September, the UN General Assembly overwhelmingly supported the resolution to raise the Palestinian flag with 119 votes in favor. 48 members abstained and 8 voted against, including Israel, the US, Canada and Australia. The Palestinian Authority foreign minister said the occasion sends a loud message to Israel, the occupying power, that the Palestinians will not surrender to the logic of brute force and that its attempts to erase the Palestinian identity will not succeed.
We are confident that one day, and one day soon, we shall celebrate with all peace-loving nations and peoples from around the world, raising the Palestinian flag over our capital, Jerusalem.
Al-Malki said Israel's killings and aggression, its illegal settlement activities and attempts to change the status quo in Al-Aqsa Mosque have made a two-state solution impractical.
We should not really sell false hopes to the people that negotiations will be resumed soon. No, we should really stick to steadfastness in our own territory, how to really persevere and to work towards fulfilling our work and expectations through solidarity among ourselves.
Though the occasion is seen as a positive, symbolic step, Palestinians say it should also serve as a reminder that the international system has failed to fully discharge its obligation to provide peace and security for the Palestinian people. Homa Lezgi, Press TV, Vienna.
As the violence is escalating in the occupied Palestinian territories, people in Gaza held a protest in front of the Red Cross office to denounce the new wave of Israeli arrests in the West Bank and Jerusalem al-Quds. The Palestinians condemned Israel's inhumane treatment of thousands of Palestinian prisoners held without charge or trial in Israel's prisons. Even those suffering from chronic medical conditions are still held behind bars. On Sunday, Palestinian prisoner Fadi al-Derbi went into a coma due to years of medical negligence. Prisoners' advocacy groups have slammed Tel Aviv's policy of keeping Palestinian prisoners in detention centers near Israel's nuclear facility.
The medical negligence policy against prisoners turns regular illnesses into dangerous and life-threatening illnesses. Holding more than half of the prisoners in dangerous areas in the south near the Dimona nuclear reactor has also increased the number of patients due to exposure to dangerous radiation. Since the beginning of this month, around 700 Palestinians were arrested in the West Bank and Jerusalem al-Quds.
Tensions have soared in recent weeks since Tel Aviv imposed tight restrictions on the entry of Palestinian worshippers into the Al-Aqsa Mosque compound in the occupied Jerusalem al-Quds. The anger fueled by clashes and rising number of Palestinians killed by Israeli forces have set off a new intifada or popular uprising against Israel's violence and occupation.
This intifada is gaining momentum. Israeli forces continue to arrest thousands of Palestinians amid a deafening international silence. We demand that international human rights groups end their silence and condemn these grave and inhumane Israeli crimes.
In recent days, in the occupied West Bank and Jerusalem al-Quds, amid Tel Aviv's violent crackdown against the new Palestinian Intifada. Ashraf Shanan, Press TV Gaza.
Iraq's Kurdish political parties have turned from negotiating partners to sworn enemies. Following failure in talks on the political future of the semi-autonomous region, violent protests rocked Kurdistan, with rioters torching the office of President Masoud Barzani's Kurdish Democratic Party in Sulaimania. In retaliation, the KDP prevented Parliament Speaker and Goran movement ministers and MPs from entering Erbil.
The mayhem in Sulaimania was fomented by Goran. They are pushing for instability. They intentionally targeted KDP offices. These acts are unlawful and uncivilized. We want a functioning government, while they want chaos. The best solution is to remove Goran from the parliament and government.
Some Goran MPs who were able to make the trip to the parliament reacted angrily to the move.
What happened is a military coup by the Kurdish Democratic Party. This goes against all the laws in place in the Kurdish region. This is a coup by people with tribal mentality. All the actions taken by the KDP have severed all avenues for dialogue and have cut off all communications between the political parties. These actions will only lead to more divisions and civil war in the Kurdish region.
The turmoil in the region began when Barzani's second term as president of the KRG ended in August. But he and his party wanted 2 years extension, which was rejected by the other parties. While the prospect of further talks is on hold, resolving other issues such as the stagnant economy and the old dispute with Baghdad have once again been sidetracked as the Kurdish region heads toward uncharted political territories. Ali Moussawi, Press TV, Erbil.
These are not the mourning rituals performed after someone's demise, but Bushra's family's prayer for any clues about the fate of their beloved daughter. She is feared to have fallen victim to Saudi Arabia's mismanagement of this year's Hajj pilgrimage that first saw a crane drop in Mecca and later witnessed a deadly stampede in Mina. It's been nearly 3 weeks since 27-year-old Pakistani pilgrim Bushra Khalik went missing in Mina. According to the Religious Ministry of Pakistan, Pakistani death toll from Mina stampede has reached 93. Out of this, only 50 was confirmed by Pakistani embassy in Riyadh, while the rest of it was reported by the families and other sources. Bushra's brother told Press TV that the Religious Affairs Ministry has included Bushra's name on both found and missing pilgrims lists.
We first told the Saudi officials responsible for the death of my sister Bushra and thousands of other pilgrims in Mina stampede, and then this Nawaz administration did its best to please his Saudi relatives and turned a deaf ear to us, the citizens of this country. Let me tell you that it's the 17th day and the Ministry of Religious Affairs still don't know anything of my sister's fate.
Youngest among 6 sisters, Bushra was an instructor in a private airline in Riyadh. She went to Mecca with her 2 friends Rida and Khatija. Both of them have been confirmed dead, but Bushra is still missing.
I am a bereaved mother who is in pain since Mina stampede and know nothing about my beloved daughter Bushra's fate. Where is the Prime Minister of this country? Who will satisfy this burning heart inside me? Who should I turn to? I hold Saudi officials responsible for the mismanagement, and then our government, who has even banned talks about the incompetence of Saudi and Pakistani authorities.
Nawaz administration has banned all local TV discussions related to Mina incident through its media regulator. Many here believe this is another example of Islamabad trying to please Nawaz Sharif's relatives in Riyadh at the expense of Pakistani citizens. Muhammad Turi, Press TV, Karachi.
Pakistan's former Speaker of the National Assembly is at the centre stage. Ayaz Sadiq has won politically important re-election that had put the future of government of Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif at stake. Sadiq was disqualified recently by a court over allegations by opposition party of Imran Khan that he won the parliamentary seat in 2013 general elections through voter fraud. But in a re-election, the former Speaker of the National Assembly reclaimed his seat in a major blow to the anti-government campaign of Khan's party.
The elections were held in the backdrop of claims by Imran Khan that last parliamentary elections were rigged. But now the people have given their verdict that Imran Khan's allegations were baseless.
But Khan's Tehreek-e-Insaf insists that narrow margin of ruling party's victory